Hey, good evening, everybody. This is Encounters, a spiritual UFO talk show. We're just getting on here now. Just hanging out on April's live for a while. I enjoyed April's live. It was great to see April go live for the first time. So we're here. We just switched over from her live here, and we'll bring April on here to Encounters. It was a beautiful thing to watch her. I enjoyed April so much watching her stories, listening to her stories. Good evening, everybody coming in. So it's starting out at 11:54. We'll be on for a while. It's a Saturday night, and she was giving you some background information of what is happening. Gary, welcome to the show, everybody around the world. I'll soon be putting together the video for the April 13th contact event, C5, that we're having. And now I understand clearly. I'm sure April will, when she comes on here, she'll describe it. Thank you for the heart, Dawn. I appreciate that. Hey, Johnny. Good evening. I really loved April's live broadcast. It was beautiful. I'm starting to feel better. I was walking around. I went to the crystal shop in where I live here, and I had a nice cushiony chair. I sat down talking to one of the people there, and I forced myself to do some walking, and it's less pain than it was. I think less pain than it was when it initially started. It still is. It still tries to come back a little bit, and we're working with it. Hey, Brandy. Hey, One Toyota. Everybody. Holy Eagle. Sherry. C2827P. Winnie. Everybody coming in here. Hey, Clifford. Good to see you, brother, with the white beard. Hey, Taz. Thanks for coming in, brother. We love everybody here, as you know. We had a great show last night. The show last night I put on my YouTube channel for people that have never seen it. It was a really powerful show last night, and very loving show. And I just want to, as I always will do, a blessing. So before we get really started, oh, thank you, Taz. You saw the ship. Beautiful. Hey, Rita. So I would like to do a blessing on my show, which I like to do at the start of every show. Hey, Sue. I ask that the Ashtar Command, my brothers and sisters, Kadar Manka of the Sagittarian Council, and all that of the Ashtar Galactic Command, protect every single person, Peace Star TV, everybody from all over the world who's joining our show. I want to also thank my moderators for being who they are, and blessings to all the moderators who've made this show beautiful and have been helpful here. I'm going to bring April up on the show. I loved April's sharing tonight. It was so beautiful to hear. Shannon, welcome to the show. And we'll get April on here without her cream cheese outfit on. Not looking like she's been in cream cheese.
Hi.
Hey, April, it was beautiful.
Sorry, did not mean to run over.
No, you're not. Don't worry about it. I'm running late. I actually didn't know what time I was getting on tonight. You're perfectly fine.
Okay.
We went out to a place and had, it's called Bones and Botanicals. We had
Oh,
my daughter and her boyfriend and my wife and I went out. I had what they call one of these teas, and they had a whatever one that they had, and then we got home and went for a ride out in the east of where we are in our town. We went out into the wooded areas where the farms are, and then circled our way back home from the farms, and it was just a nice little ride after all that. And I just was just hypnotized listening to the stories that you were telling, and I just knew, I knew I was going to get on later. I just want to honor and just sit there and listen to the stories. And so now we have you live and without any cream cheese or so.
I know.
But
I was nervous.
you're so humble and such a beautiful soul. And if anybody doesn't see that, I need to shake you and shake people's heads and say, wait a minute, wake up, wake up.
I know. I started crying. I felt so embarrassed. I didn't mean to.
Oh,
But I
see,
was
you're
like
very
talking
humble.
about your show, and I was like, for a long time, I didn't feel like I had anywhere to go, like to talk about my experiences, and my family's so numb to it. Like I really
Yeah.
couldn't. And when I found your show, it's like I felt such a connection with you and the people in your audience. There's, a handful of you, and they know who they are, and it's like I have such a strong connection with Chesno and you, and it's like I no longer felt like I was alone,
You're
and
not, and you,
it
and you
was,
know, and you know you're not alone anymore.
yeah, now
You're
I
not
know
alone.
that.
Now you can be a happy cosmic camper, and you'll know that the light that we hold, the light and the Christed light that we hold, is so strong now over anything else in the last 70 years. You know, I had no idea when I look at where I am now versus where I was 30 years ago, 40 years ago, I had no idea I had a mission like this. I had no idea. How
You
would I
had
ever
no
know?
idea. I mean, the
You had no
mission,
idea.
Commander, the mission that you and I have, I should have texted you earlier. I was just trying to wrap my head around, all the information from this last contact that was given to me. And I mean, it was a lot. And, um, it was a lot. And I was with them for about 5 hours last night,
Last
and
night,
last night there was a new contact. I sent you a video, but I didn't like talk about it
okay.
yet.
Did they take you back on the ship like I
Yes,
thought they were going to do? I
yes,
told you you were going
they,
to go back on the ship.
and they actually put an appearance in on mine, a physical appearance. Asked the audience that were there. He busted in through my background and
Oh,
showed his
really?
whole body, like he was.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. Hang on a
You
second.
know,
I need to get a drink.
I
I'm
want.
like dying
Okay,
of
get a
thirst.
drink. I'm just going to say on what I've been getting. I mean, I was watching the Avatar, the latest Avatar movie with my wife, and I kind of went out and like what you said before is true. They're not going to be doing like we're going to go over the world and we're going to have everybody. They're not. That's not what they're doing. What they're
Mm,
there's not to negate anybody out there in the world. Everybody has a mission to complete, and it will be whenever it's supposed to be.
yeah,
For whatever reason, the way this is working, and we didn't play. I never knew April before. She found my show.
they
I never
guided
knew
me
what I
to you. They guided
and
me
I
to.
didn't
They
and I
specifically told me that.
and I didn't even know I was going to be on TikTok. I had people tell me, "Commander, go on TikTok," and I used to think TikTok was for a bunch of teenagers. That was the
That's what I
impression.
thought too.
That was the impression, but the impression was not true. So I got in here. So what do I want to do? Do I want to be doing Christed healings on TikTok? I can do that. Do I want to do something else? Then I decided no one's doing a spiritual UFO talk show. I'm doing radio for 21 years, Ashtar Command Radio. Why don't I do a show like that on here? And I found myself filling a void. I mean, yeah, there were people like discussing certain things, but they had an agenda about the UFO thing they were talking about from a religious perspective or whatever. I said, I got to bust the matrix here. I've got to do something that is not only professional, but a spiritual UFO talk show. And I came here with the mission of busting the matrix. I don't fool around. And if trolls come in here, I'll bust them out. If people come in here to disrupt the mission work, I don't care. I'll bust them out. People know that. They've seen me take people that come in here and start getting negative. I bust them out and block them. That's what light working is about. That's what being a Christed being is about. And that's what I do. And so when we met April, she had never been on here before, and she found her confidence, and I felt, wait a minute. Then when the ship landed the other night, and she talked about with my father on board the ship, she physically went on a ship. She wasn't like dreaming a story, telling me a dream. She physically went on board. As you know, I didn't see the part where the space being showed himself on your live, but now you know that everything that is being stated is true. I mean, all these people can talk about their dreams, and I talk about, when people tell me the cosmic dreams, that's another way of going to meet your star family through your cosmic dream. That's a specific dream, not just a regular dream. And those are real. Don't get me wrong, they are. But the physical reality is that when we do this thing on April 13th, and I hope it doesn't rain. I don't think it matters if it rains or not. But it would be nice if it doesn't rain. I just hope the weather is universally clear. We're going to be in a field, a parking area with a field before these orchard trees where we go. We clear the energy there. hopefully other people will not be there. That
Um, I,
sometimes
I
people
think
like
I
to come
think
up
we
there.
keep it. And this is we'd keep it as like we'll do the whole filming of everything, but I think maybe we should keep it a small gathering instead of
It's
making it a
definitely
big
small.
huge thing because
Yeah.
um, they they want to do this for you, but
Okay.
they also they've got a lot bigger fish to fry right now. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You and
Yeah.
I
I'm
have
not.
a lot of work to do. And they said they also told me that that you and I together, I guess we had chose when they were talking about us being human and coming down here to this existence, that you and I were actually together when we chose this, and we knew then before we come down to our human selves that we would be connecting in our lives.
See, I never knew this. Yeah.
I
I mean,
didn't know that. They told me
I
this last night.
honestly.
They were explaining all this to me. That we chose this before we became into our human selves, our star selves. Chose these lives, and we knew that you and I would be working together for this mass contact to be happening. We were chosen for this. You, me, and there's a handful of star seeds. There was actually one that was actually on your show that's got a mission too, but that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
But you and I specifically are supposed to be. They like can't pound this in me enough. I feel like
Yeah.
are supposed to be working together.
Yeah.
But
I'm.
they
I know it's going to be a small gathering. I'm not looking to make this. I don't want this to be this gathering.
yeah.
Chesna will be there. My friend.
I know your C5 group is going to be there. I'm
It's
just
just.
saying that just
Yeah, it's
we'll just keep it down to
all the
those
right,
four.
all the right people. You're right. It's going to be
Right.
just the right people. This is not going to be a big thing. It's not supposed to be, and I have
Mm-mm.
to adhere to the guidance of the Ashtar Command people on the ship. It's not going to be a joyride. It's not like this is not the reason. And I am so like I am so what's I can't put it into words in earth words, but I'm trying to is that I've never ever in my life ever expected this. I never expected. I don't expect anything ever.
You didn't
I don't.
expect it. I keep asking myself, why me?
And I do that. I ask myself in humbleness, why me? But then I'm also looking at the fact that, okay, if I never get to ever meet the people that
Oh,
I
you'll be
was
meeting
once
them.
working with,
You'll be meeting
yeah.
them. You
See,
have
this
to.
is the
You have
thing.
to. We got stuff to
Yeah,
do, and I'll tell you. I'll
yeah.
message you with that later. But we
Okay.
got stuff to do. So yeah, you don't trust me.
So
You'll be meeting them.
yeah, and
Don't
I want to
slam the
keep
door
everything
on them.
on. I know. I want to keep it honest too. I mean, I don't want to say, "Hey, I went on the ship and nothing happened." So
Right.
I'm being very. That's just the human part of me is saying, people that say, "Oh, Commander, you said you were going on the ship. You didn't go anywhere. You were standing in the field all night." So I just want to be honest with everybody because that's the way I am too, and I don't want to put people on here watching this, seeing us, and saying, "Oh, there's nothing there, bunch of apple orchards." So I'm being very honest with everybody. I do believe very truly that I'm going to be going on this ship and I'll be coming back with information when I go.
Right.
So this is, and in my lifetime, honestly, I was just happy to do my radio show for 21 years that I'm doing about Ashtar Command stuff,
You're
posting on
never meant to
Facebook.
be just a radio show host. You know this, right?
I know this. Yeah, I know it. I know it. I mean, to be honest, I do know it, but I didn't know when the time was because being on Earth, I don't know what the timing is. I don't know when things are going to, I didn't know all these years when the timing was. I kept feeling like, you know, when am I going to get to not just be human, but go back on the ship and experience what I've done before I came to Earth? I always kept asking myself that when I got older, when I became more conscious of it with Ashtar Athena, my friend in California, and with Ashtar and everyone, I would say to them, how come, other people remember stuff and I don't remember anything? I just, I had my sightings, over the years of the ship I talked about in Connecticut that was over 2 football fields long that was showing me geometry. It was huge.
Right.
That's as that was as close as I got to touching a spaceship, an intergalactic spaceship, just hovering and spinning slowly with lights like pulsating all over the place. But you know, I understand that I'm going to go on this ship that night, and I'm still, you know, until I get there, until that night happens, I'm still going to be humble. I'm going to always be humble. I'm going to still be logical in my head till I get there, because you know, I'm going to say to myself, is this really happening? Is
That's
this
what
really
I said.
happening? You
I
know, is
spoke
this
to
really
God
happening?
on that.
The question is this really going to happen? Chesno is going to be there. He's one of our people. Greg and Elaine, who are my dear friends, they're very Christed beings of light. They live
Choice.
right next in the town next to what?
Chesno does not have a choice. I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep talking over you, but
Oh,
Chesno doesn't
Chesno?
have a choice now. He's taking me out to lunch.
Oh, he's taking you out to lunch.
Like the
Yeah,
way I'm forcing him to
I'll
do it.
and I'm going to just make a video promoting the live. That's the main point of the video. That's it. Other than the event itself, those are two separate things. Promoting the live so people can see us going on the ship. We'll see how much our live on TikTok will do. My understanding is technically when we go on this ship, into the ship, we will not be able to go live because there's a difference in.
At the C5 thing, we will not be going on a ship, but they are going to be doing something for us out there, for
Oh,
sure.
out there.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
but we won't be going on the ship then. But we will.
Oh,
You and I will be. But I'm sorry, I may have missed. I may have said that wrong.
I'm a little bit
You and I will
confused.
be going on a ship
Okay.
soon. But as far as the C5, they're going to do something special for you for your event, but they want to keep it kind of low key
Okay, we'll keep it low key.
because
Now,
of
how are we gonna go? This is my human side of me coming out here, because I'm just like I'm
you'll be able
like
to film it with your phones and cameras and all that stuff. Is what I'm saying.
yeah. But how are you and I gonna go on the ship
That'll be another time. I'll
another
talk to
time?
you.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll
All right.
be a
All right.
message.
So the ship is going to be another time, but they are going to do something at our C5 that I have no idea yet what that's going to be. So okay. So the event for a ship going on is another future event. All right. So now I have some clarification. But
Sorry,
they're still going to be there.
blur that
They're going to be there
together.
April, and they're going to do something there that we're going to be able to.
Film and document and all that
Okay.
stuff. Yes,
All right.
they're going to do something special just for you, did your father
Okay.
say. Um, and
Oh,
I got to see what you look like when you were a star being.
really? What did I look like?
They
Do you have
have
a
memory
picture?
crystals. Yeah, because I asked, I said, you guys have photo albums? Because I wanted to see what, because you said you had
Oh
a
my
big beard
God.
and stuff, and I
Yeah.
wanted to see what you look like. And
Did I have a big beard?
they have memory crystals, and they stuck this crystal inside this, like it looked like almost like a glass computer like type thing, and he stuck this crystal in there, and it's a memory crystal, and he stuck this thing in there, and an image of you popped up like you were 3D image. It was really cool, but I got to see what you look like, and you look like a Viking. You
A
look like a,
Viking.
yes, you were muscular, thin, and you were tall. You have wavy, big wavy hair. Not big, but like curly, wavy hair. You do have a beard, but in one picture that he showed, or one image thing that he showed me, you had braided your beard and you had crystals coming down your beard. And he's like,
Really?
he thought he was awesome.
Oh man.
You had crystals braided into your beard. It was
Crystals
actually really
braided.
cool.
Well, I love crystals. I got a lot of crystals,
Had
so
them
I
braided
never
into your beard. You had
braided into my
braided like a
beard.
mustache and crystals coming down from it. It was really cool. But
I'm gonna have to try to do that. No, I can't do that. I can't grow a good beard.
but you were very handsome. You were tall and
Oh,
thin.
thank you.
You had the whole. You
Thank
looked
you.
like a Viking.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I got to see
That's
it.
amazing.
Yep.
I'm looking so forward to meeting my non-biological father. You know, this is the thing that I'm starting to learn about, this whole thing about biological human fathers and mothers and biological people on Earth that we call family here. This is what I've learned only very recently, that we are not only having biological families here, but we have biological star family from other worlds
Yes.
beyond Earth that we all have. Every one of you has that. Now, you don't have to remember it. I'm just starting to learn about that more, what that is. I mean, all my life, most of my life, I felt I only had one family: my biological mom and dad, grandmother, grandfather, my nieces, my nephews, my cousins. And my consciousness, when it woke up to where it is now, I understand that my mother and father here passed on to another dimensional frequency, and they probably are back off planet where they were. But now I understand that I have my father, who is on a spaceship, and my mother is on a spaceship. Not my same people that were my parents here, but I don't. Was my? Did you see what my mother looks like on the ship?
I did not see her. Only he was there.
Okay,
Oh, Jesus, I'm dropping stuff. Only he was there. Your mother was on another living ship with your brothers and sisters. You
my
have
brothers
brothers
and
and
sisters.
sisters. Yeah, I don't. I didn't
Really?
ask how many. I'm sorry, I didn't get into all that because they were
Okay.
had so much to tell me. But you do have. I know that you have brothers and sisters. I saw quite a few of them in some pictures that were with you. Those
Really?
images. Yeah, you were
Yeah.
with some of them. But there was quite a few. It looked
Wow.
maybe to be about
I have a
seven.
large family. I must have a large family. Wow,
You
seven
do.
people in my space family.
Yeah,
Wow.
they very much
That's
love each
amazing.
other. Your parents very, very much love each other. He spoke of her
Wow.
so softly, like
Wow.
he very much loves her. And even though all
Yeah.
these hundreds of years have passed, he loves her. They're
Yeah.
definitely soulmated.
I can't wait when I go on the ship, and then the next thing we do when I do go on the ship, I hope I will hopefully meet the rest of my family up there. That's going to be, for me, emotional, because it will be. I'm thinking about it so much now that I've never. This is stuff I've never remembered or known about or knew, and I have to thank you, April, because you were. They landed. They are. That you can went on the ship and you went on again, and I'm learning a lot about my father, my brothers. Do I have any sisters or just brothers?
No, brothers and sisters too.
I have brothers
Well,
and
I mean, not two.
sisters.
I'm sorry. You have both brothers and sisters, and they also gifted me with two crystals. They gave me, and I tried to get pictures of them, but my film there was so much energy coming from these things that my I tried three different phones, Commander, and I could not get a clear picture of these things. I
Oh
got
wow.
two, one for me and one for you. I hid them. I was so scared after
Hey
I
Taz,
brought
take
them
it easy.
back. Like I was
Hey,
so, I don't know what, not scared of the crystals, but scared of, other people from other
yeah.
places trying to take these things from me. So I tried to snap some proof of them and I hid them. They're hidden, and my fairies took them and put them someplace special for
Oh,
me.
oh,
They
good.
will never
That's
be
good.
found until I'm ready to take them to you.
Okay, that's
So
good.
you have
That's
one and
good.
I have one, and they are from space and they are ours, and one is yours and one
Oh
is
my
mine.
gosh. I feel so blessed. You know, my mind is right now in a place where I've never been before. Everything you're sharing here is blowing me away consciously. You're just a beautiful soul. If I say it 10 bazillion times, you are the most beautiful soul spiritually. Not that anybody else here isn't. You're all beautiful people. I love everybody here. I do. But I'm still blown away because all my life, in my being conscious of the fact that something was going on growing up as a kid, that this flying saucer hovered in my cul-de-sac with space people in it. And I went up from the kitchen, and I've told this story numerous times, and there were beautiful people with light blue space outfits looking at me and communicating with me. I didn't know anything. I didn't know what was happening. All I knew is they told me I wasn't from here. That was the first time I heard that. And
Uh,
then as I
I
got older, yeah, that's all
it's
I
like
knew.
I can't believe all this is happening, and I'm just like, I keep asking myself, why me? Like I am not, I'm, like a mother or grandmother. I'm like nobody
Yeah.
special, and I keep asking like, why me? And you know, um, she said something. She said that. when they explained to me that we were something else when we were star beings, that we were something special when we were star beings, and that we chose this earth life, even though, things aren't perfect, and we've been through some suffering, that we chose to learn these lessons um, in order to come back when this mass communication and this transfer happens, that you and I were meant to suffer what humanity suffered, because you and I are meant to be representatives, and these other star seeds too, were meant to be representatives for
Yeah.
the world, for humanity, and so us going through what we have been through growing
Thank you,
up,
Barbara. Yeah.
and is going to help us to
Yeah.
facilitate all this to happen, and that
Yeah.
now we have empathy for the humans because we've lived their lives,
Yes.
and that
And
makes
you,
sense to me now.
and you can feel special. I want you. I'm going to say as Commander Alion, Ashtar Commander, feel special. Like, breathe it, live it. You're here for a special reason. Feel special. You have everything to feel special about. You've been through a hard life. I know that. My life, I'm not like a bazillionaire. I don't have lots of money, but I know you don't either.
No,
So, we did what, a lot of people here have been through hard stuff too. I'm sure a lot of you, it's just, you do, you are trying to do the best you can in this world that you live in, all of you, you know, um, what's happening is happening. Uh, you know, uh, when I was growing up, I never made the decisions that I'm going to be busting a matrix. I chose to be here to wake people up. That I never knew that. When I was growing up, I would have never ever thought I was going to be where I am right now.
Commander, I gotta
Ever.
pop down for a minute, and then I'm gonna hop
Okay.
back into my other phone
Okay.
because the
Yeah.
phone is dying
Okay.
on me. All
Oh,
right.
okay. Go ahead. All right. So, it's what's going to be happening is so extraordinary to me, and I am fully awakened in every sense of the word in my cosmic enlightenment. If I had been 5 years ago, 10 years ago, all I know is that when I met Ashtar, and then before that, well, I met my friend Ashtar Athena in California. I met her through a magazine called Sedona Journal. I had to find this person. And when I met her, we had so many interesting experiences. And Ashtar, she would communicate with Ashtar. And Ashtar said one night to me, when I went out, I was doing a reggae show on another radio station at the time. And I had a little cassette recorder. We didn't have CDs. We didn't have, Facebook or all this other stuff. And I got stuck in a person's condo with about 10 or 15 other people who were spiritual people, and a musician, Richard Schulman. He's produced CDs, New Age CDs. And I said, I guess I'm not going home. And so neon, the sky was like just fog everywhere. The trees were neon blue and they were like foggy. And it was electromagnetic disturbance in the air. You could see like a neon flash of light. And I said, what's going on with that? And they said, well, a big ship is in the atmosphere and it's causing an electromagnetic disturbance. And then the next day, instead of going home that night, I got stuck there. And I went home the next day. And then Ashtar says to me, "This commander is going to do a mission." I said, "I'm not a commander. What's a commander?" I didn't had no idea what a commander was. Right? I had no idea. He says, "Oh, you're going to be doing mission work." I said, "Mission work." So I went a whole week after I finally came home from that experience with all these beautiful people and got stuck there. Everything I believed in terms of earth-based belief systems, everything in my system was empty. Everything I believed in was gone. I felt completely empty for a full week. Completely empty. Like I had no. Let me put. Let me. Oh, friends with Ray. I felt completely empty for like a whole week, and when that happened, I felt like everything I was taught to believe in was not true anymore. Everything I was taught in the textbooks in school, it meant nothing to me anymore. Everything that I saw around me meant nothing anymore. And as I got older, and I had worked with Ashtar Athena, we'd bring about 50, 60 people. We did these things called Ashtar conclaves. We had people from Scandinavia, South America, and we'd come together. And Athena we'd bring her to Connecticut, and people come from all over the world. And so then I realized what the mission was. We did so many crazy things together when she would be here. Go to stone chambers and all kinds of stuff. And but later on, now over 30 years later or more, getting to the point now where we're physically going to go on a spaceship. If you were able to ask me that 10 years ago, I wouldn't know what to tell you. To physically know that we're going to go on a spaceship, a large ship, not this time around, but in the future, after this event we have on the 13th, this is not going to be us going on a spaceship, but they're going to do something to let it, for us to let our C5 group know what's going on. And then after that, they'll be facilitating quietly with April and I about going on a spaceship. However, that's going to work. I'm not going to tell anyone I know how that works because I don't know. There's a lot of things I do know, but I don't know how that's going to be facilitated. I'm going to leave that up to the people on board the Ashtar ship, the large ship. I'll let them figure it out because I don't know how that works. There's so many things I have to learn here now. For all the things I do know, there's 10,000 other things I do not know now. Really, 10,000 other things I don't know. Right? Hey, welcome back. It must be nice and warm up here. It's daytime in Vermont.
It is.
And you
I
got
figured me and Pumpkin would hang out with you.
Okay, good. I like this pumpkin right there. Very cool. It looks nice having that. I wish it was daylight here, but in Vermont where you are, you can change it to day and night. So we have April back with us. So, it's really what we're doing here. We're really learning stuff. We're all learning together when we do these lives now. We're all learning stuff together. The dynamics of what's going to happen, brothers and sisters, is so much different than it was a week ago, a day ago, 2 days ago. Everything is shifting so quickly. For April and myself and for every one of you, I know everything is shifting, and just feel at peace with yourselves. Just feel understanding of yourselves. Just take time to be with yourselves. We don't take time to be with ourselves. You take time to just try to figure out how to get along in this world and how to work in this world and how to, whatever we're doing, just try to keep doing it. We have to slow down a little bit. We have to kind of stop, stop in our tracks and just take a break. If you're on a road somewhere, pull on, get off the highway, find a place where there's a river or like a stream, and park your car and get out and sit there for a while and just hang out with yourself and just start communing with the universe and with nature and with everything around you and start realizing who you are, because that's where we're going to find ourselves. It's not going to be traveling from point A to B in a car. That doesn't help anything. It gets us where we physically want to get. But yeah, I can physically feel a difference. Thank you, Clifford. Hey, Riley, haven't seen you, brother. It's just really important for people now to realize what we're going to be doing. April is a very humble person. I am in a humble state of consciousness. So whatever we're going to be doing when we do the C5 event and the event that's going to be facilitated with them take us on the ship, it's going to be conscious changing for me too. And whatever information they're going to guide to give us when we go off the ship is going to help the planet. Put it this way. We choose a mission to just do good things. If we're just doing good things to help other people, wake them up and verbally communicate information, that's been always my mission, because intergalactic communications is what I did off planet. That was my mission work. On Earth, it's using things like this, using the radio station, being on TV for a while when I did TV. So I use what is here. But that's all I thought I was going to be doing, is that was the physical thing. Just, educate people, wake them up, do the work. Now I see that we're going to go and do other things other than just physically be on Earth. We're going to go on a spaceship and we're going to see my family that I've never seen since before I came to Earth. So that to me is going to be very emotional for me. I can't express how emotional it'll be, but it's going to be different for me. I'm just sharing how I feel.
You're gonna know all the right questions to ask. I feel like I I don't know. It's like I wish sometimes that I was a lot smarter than I am because like I hear all these people asking questions about time, space continuums and stuff like that, and I'm just like, I didn't know what I was like trying to remember everything that you wanted asked, and then I was trying to ask questions about what's going to happen and what are our parts in it, but then I felt like I didn't ask any like smart questions, and it was frustrating for me. But I did get to they showed me another section of their because they fed me while I was there. Um and I got to try it's called a tahar, and it is a red orange flower that has this it almost looks like liquid mercury fluid in it. It has like a little ball at the bottom, and you
Huh.
squeeze this ball and this juice comes out, and you can drink the juice, or they collect it, or you can just taste it right from the flower. And if this juice does this like silvery substance doesn't taste like pineapple, it doesn't taste like nothing. And then listen, the leaves taste they taste almost like they have the texture of a piece of taffy that dissolves in your mouth. And then
Really?
the female was telling me that the leaves and the stem have these amazing healing properties. And I was like, healing properties like herbal, you drink it or ingest it. And
Right.
she like took her fingernail and she went like that, and then she like cut herself, and she had this it was almost like a purpley, like almost like their blood, I guess, but like a purpley stuff that was like
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
dripped up a little bit out of her skin. And then she took this plant and squeezed it, and this milky stuff came out and dripped on it, and the cut was gone. Gone.
It just like disappeared, right?
Gone.
April?
Just gone.
Yeah.
And I was like, no kidding. And I like marked that name in my head because I'm horrible with names, but I remembered that it's called a tahar, and it's one of their,
Tahar.
it's a flowering fruit plant that they have. It's pretty,
Tahar.
but it
Tahar.
has this like liquid, like almost like a liquid mercury looking juice in it, and it tastes like pineapple.
Wow. Well,
And
I
then
think I would enjoy that. I
they
think
had
so.
this mushroom looking plant. I don't know if it was a mushroom or not, but it looked like a mushroom, and it almost looked like a turtle shell. It was like it looked like a one of the people, I don't, it looked like a mushroom, that but it had like four stems underneath it, and it was green. It was green in color, but it almost looked like a turtle shell, like it had little squares on
Oh,
it.
really?
And I
Okay.
got to try that, and if this thing didn't taste like a porterhouse steak, I don't know what did. This
The
thing tasted like
mushrooms.
you were eating a, yes, it tasted like you were eating steak, but it was a
So if,
vegetable.
that's pretty cool. You can have a mushroom vegetable type thing that tastes like a steak, and you don't
Yeah.
have to eat
I
meat and
forgot
be
to ask
healthy.
what it was called. I didn't ask what it was called
Interesting.
though, but it was really cool. It looked like a
Oh,
turtle
wow.
shell with stems on it. It was really
Wow.
cool.
I would try that. I think I would try that.
I did. At first, I was like, should I try the flower? I was like, I got a little nervous at first because my human mind was going, okay, this stuff. What if it's not compatible with my human body? What if it
But it,
poisons me?
but it was compatible.
No, they
The
wouldn't have
food was
given me anything that was bad,
no.
and I knew that. It's just my
Yeah.
human mind was going that
Your
way.
mind is going like yeah,
I
yeah,
stopped immediately, and I'm
yeah.
like, you know what? Heck with it. I'm going to try it because even if I do, they can heal me. Shoot,
Right,
So
right.
I did,
And
and it was so good.
and
And
how did you eat the food with the spacesuit on? Was there a way of doing that?
yeah, my hands weren't in the spacesuit, just my body. It was
Oh,
just like my hands were free, my head was out, and
and
I had, but
how did you eat? I mean, you can eat the food like we chewing
they
on
had these, no, they had like things, they were almost like plates,
plates.
but they were like triangle in shape. Their
Okay,
plates they had were triangle in shape, very thin, almost like I want to say like a plastic. It felt like light plastic,
yeah,
but it wasn't
okay,
plastic. It was very
yeah,
sturdy material.
something, yeah,
And then they're like little platters, but they like not little platters. They were big platters, and they
yeah,
just put
yeah.
all these different foods on them, like kind of like a little smorgasbord of different things. And they put it
Oh
in
my
in
gosh,
the middle of the table, and everybody's just kind of talking and picking at what they wanted. And so I'm like, I looked at the
wow.
green thing, and I'm like, that looks so interesting. So I tried it, but man, that thing tasted like I was eating just a grill, just off the grill porterhouse steak. It was so good.
So all the food that let's talk about some of the food they have in the spaceship. A spaceship smorgasbord, basically, of
Yeah.
food. What other types of food did they have, or fruits did they have? Did you notice anything different
Oh yeah,
versus
they
what we
had all
have?
different kinds of stuff. They had this it was like a it was a I don't even know how to explain it. It looked like, you know how the bottom of a mushroom has all those like little I call them slinkies, but those little
Yeah, the little
ridges.
lining thing, the little line
Okay, so
bridges.
they
Yeah,
had this like cylinder type. It was a pink colored cylinder. Hold on, I'm
huh?
trying to explain it. It was like about that big, and it was like
Yeah,
a tall, like skinny, about
yeah,
that big around
yeah,
cylinder type. I don't even know if it was a flower or what kind of plant it was, but it was like that. And
yeah.
I got to try that. That tasted like let me give it a description. It tasted like a watered down Kool-Aid, but very
Really?
light, like if you were to place a rose petal in your mouth.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like in your mouth, but it tasted like a almost like a watered down Kool-Aid.
Like
Um,
a watered down Kool. Like I remember as a kid, I used to Kool Aid
Yeah,
was a
when you
big
put
thing in
too
the
much
'60s.
water, that's
Yeah,
what
yeah,
it
yeah,
tasted like. It was that
yeah,
was good. But that man, that tahar, man, that was really sweet. It tasted like the
yeah.
perfect sweetness of a pineapple. That was
Wow.
good. And then I liked the mushroom type plant thing that they had that tasted like steak. And then I tried that, but I didn't want to be like a hog, so I tried that. I wanted to try everything, but
Well,
I was
I
trying to
don't think you'd
listen
be
and
a hog. I think they'd be
you know
willing to give you
so I was
whatever you
trying to
wanted to eat.
listen, and they had these like little poofy, they look like cheese poofs, but they were they were like a dark gray in color.
Yeah.
They look like a cheese poof. But they didn't have, they the
When
consistency.
you say cheese poof, you mean cheese puff
Yeah,
or
like
poof?
I'm sorry, I call them cheesy poofs, but yes,
Okay,
a
I was
cheese
like
puff.
that must be
It
something I
was
haven't
like a
seen.
cheese puff, but around like a round with like a Chester Cheetos
Oh yeah,
puff.
yeah, I know what you mean.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
so it looked like a puffed popcorn shape almost, but it was in a puff. And
yeah.
it was the texture of it was like almost like putting powder in your mouth. That's
Okay.
what it felt like in my mouth. It dissolved
Yeah.
immediately. Like you
What
place
did
it in your mouth and it
so
dissolved.
so it tastes like a chase. I can't even speak English. It tasted like a cheese puff.
It tasted
I'm
like
getting
black
tongue twisted here.
licorice.
Black licorice. Okay, I'm not really into black licorice, so I probably would skip
I'm
that
just
one on the
telling you
ship.
what it tasted like. I actually
I know.
like
I'm
black
just
licorice, but
you
it
do
tasted
okay.
like black licorice, like a candy though, sweet.
Okay.
A lot of their stuff is sweet.
Wow. Very sweet. The
Yeah.
sweet stuff, I can get into sweet stuff on the spaceship in a heartbeat. What would some of did they have any juice drinks or certain drinks that they have that they drink?
Oh, they drink a lot of different teas. That's the other thing. They do drink a lot of teas, and they use for some of their vegetables that aren't as sweet as that they would like. They have been harvesting honey for hundreds of years across the world. They told me hundreds of years, different types of honey. They said different regions of the grids, they call it grids, different
Uh-huh.
regions have different types of honey, and they like the different ones for different foods. And
Uh-huh.
they like tea, they drink teas.
What about seafood? I think Deborah Webster saying seafood meant to
They
be
don't eat
eaten.
meat. No meat.
They don't eat meat.
They
No
don't
meat.
eat they don't eat meat. They don't eat animals. None.
No animals.
No
Okay.
animals. None.
Okay.
They're strictly vegetarians or whatever you want to call them, just plant eaters.
I'll be fine with plant eating. I mean, on Earth I do eat, chicken and things like that, but I will be very willing to eat strictly all the stuff on their ship that's vegetarian based. I have no problem with that. You know.
But surprising enough that they do drink all these like really delicate teas and stuff. They offered me a hot drink, and it tasted like a almost like a chamomile tea, I want to say,
Yeah.
but it wasn't chamomile tea.
Yeah.
It was a very pink, bright in color, and it was served to me in this like it was a crystal.
Like a crystal
Can't think of the
glass or
name of the
something
crystal. And no, it was served to me out of like a crystal, like an actual
out of
crystal. But
crystal.
I
Oh,
can't.
really?
It's that milky thin crystal that a lot of
Milky
people
thin
collect for
crystal.
protection. It's the reason.
A quartz crystal.
No, not quartz. It's
Okay,
very
milky
thin.
crystal.
It's very thin and delicate, and
You've got me. I have no idea what that is, and I collect
it's
so
like a
many.
milky crystal, and I can't. I'll look it up later. I know exactly what it is, but it's
Oh,
anyways.
is it selenite?
Yes, yes. I couldn't think of the name,
They
but yes.
use selenite, folks. This is
Yes,
why
and that's what they
this
used that into a cup shape. It was almost like a goblet shape. A goblet. Yeah, goblet.
interesting.
Yeah, I'm saying that right.
Well, you know
But
me. You know, I have. Everyone knows I have big selenite slabs in my meditation room, which we're putting in here, and we're moving the living room in the other room. So my broadcast will still be here. This room is going to be so amped up with crystals, it's going to be
and
ridiculous.
the being that was in your crystal room was Knock
Knock. Ah,
Knock.
see.
That was
Ah, I
him.
see.
He loves your crystals because they have crystals all they shed crystals from their skin, and that's what those are the two crystals that I was given, one from your father and one from her, for me,
Oh, wow.
and one for
So
you.
Knock,
Gave
and
me
his
crystal for you.
he and he came with his wife one night in my crystal room.
Yep,
So, and his wife is tall. She's tall too.
that's my mom.
Yeah,
That was my parents.
yeah, yeah. So Nakanook your father?
Yes, and so
Okay,
and Azriela is my mom.
okay. And my father is on the ship. And do we have his name? What is his name? Do we know?
Uh, uh, oh my God. Now I'm brain farting. I'm trying to remember. I told you I'm horrible with names.
I know you'll remember eventually. So my father has a name.
Oh my
Our
God, why am
father's
I brain
Nakanook
farting? I'm sorry.
on the ship.
I'm tired.
It- no, it's all right. When you remember one night, you'll just tell me or just message me the name. But so my father on the ship she met came to my apartment and was looking. Oh no, Nakanook, your father came to look at
Yeah,
my crystals.
my
My
father,
father,
and he
my
was
father
the
hasn't come
one
to
that
look at.
was visiting. Yeah,
Yeah, my
yeah.
father hasn't done that yet, but that doesn't
No,
mean he can't do it. But
no,
he
no.
could do it.
It's because your father is head of the command. You know this. Like
Oh
he is
yeah,
head of
I do
like
know that.
he's like super. Your dad is like super important. Like our families are friends and they're both important, but your dad's like super important, and you know
I didn't.
why.
Oh, I didn't know why. I mean, I'm only learning this now. I mean, I didn't know honestly that my father off planet was important. I had no
Yeah,
idea until you told me that. You know, I
yeah. Your
this is
dad
all
is
new to
like
me, people.
super important. Your dad's like um he's super important. I'll explain it to you later, but yeah, he's super important as far as
I
protection.
guess I guess I'll be learning from him some stuff when we go on the ship.
You'll be learning a
You
lot.
know, I
You're
hope I
gonna have
can.
a million questions, and you're not gonna
I hope
remember one.
I hope there's a way of them helping me remember every single thing that they're going to download information or give me because there's no way I can remember all of it unless they're going to upgrade my consciousness.
They are doing that as they have been doing that slowly. That's why we have
Are
been.
they doing that like even when we're not live they're downloading our consciousness in our sleep and when I'm live
Yes,
here I've noticed when I speak I affect my cell phone. I affect my cell phone. I never used to do that.
and
Is that
you and I
because of
when we're.
the
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
is that because of the energy that they're downloading? It's affecting everything around me. Okay, I was wondering why. Because when I
Yeah,
talk, I'm affecting right now. I'm affecting my whole camera. Can't explain it. I know. I just trying to figure out why is that happening now, and now I think I understand it.
and then the other thing is like when you and I are together, there's something about our energy, from our
Yeah,
starseedness that it ramps everything up. It ramps
it
everything up,
does.
and then when we're together with the rest of the star seeds, like we're gonna
Yeah,
be something.
yeah. So when we're physically out there in the field, you think we're amped up here together right now as you're sitting here with us on watching this. So in the field, when we do this event, which is not going to be a contact, it'll be a C5. The contact event physically on the ship is going to be probably, I'm thinking a month out after that somehow. I mean, that's what I'm getting. I'll learn more as we go on to this, but the event that will be happening is going to be something where they're going to show us something outside. We're going to be able to record, I think, the spaceship with our cameras, and we'll be able to record and
Oh yeah,
document
we'll
things.
be able to record everything. They're gonna do something special. So, oh, I'm sorry, I'm waving my hand like. Anyways, they're gonna be doing something special just for your show. They like your show a lot. It's just that they've got so much important stuff to do
There's
right
a
now. And I have a
and
lot of work to do, so they want to
and
make
yeah,
on.
and when April says important stuff, they don't only have important stuff. It's not. Let me put this in words. I can't believe I'm stuttering here. Understand this: they have so much stuff to do to prepare for contact with the people on this planet. To be serious, I can understand. They're doing this for us to get. Once this happens, and when they physically take us on their spaceship, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to remember as much as I can when that event happens between April and me. Now are they gonna? I don't know if they're gonna physically pick you up there and then come to Connecticut. It's like, okay, here's the train coming from Vermont to Connecticut. I don't know how this works.
I don't know either. I don't know. They just show up, and I'm like, at first I slammed the door, and now I'm like, okay, guys, let's go.
Right.
What's up? It's like
And
it amazes me every single time that they come to me. It's just everything about them. It's like I feel like I feel like I'm so dumb because I sit there and I stare
yeah,
at them. I'm like, dude, their wings are so cool. It's like I
right,
just want to touch them. I want to see what they're made of. I'm
right.
so
And
curious.
and some of the space people have wings, and other ones are just strictly without wings. They're just human with their space suits on. Correct?
Yes. No, well, they all
Okay,
have spacesuits, but the
they
ones with
do.
wings are like energy wings, but they have the humanoid shaped bodies. So they're
Okay,
humanoid shape, but they got these energy wings that come out the back of them. They,
okay.
I guess maybe they can change shapes if they want to just be all energy, but they choose like the humany
They
type,
choose. Okay,
like your father.
right.
Um,
Yeah,
and their skin has that luminescent thing.
luminescent.
The ones that I met all had that luminescent skin.
Interesting.
But
Interesting.
the
So,
angelic ones have the energy wings behind them.
so for people that are watching the show for the first time, welcome to Encounters. April's sharing a true story. She's documented on video. I've shared her videos on her page in my reposting. She's been a few nights ago. It was night before last. It was the night before last night. You went out into the woods, and the ship had landed. She lives in northern Vermont in a very, very rural area, and the ship had landed. Then a door appeared out of nowhere and opened. Correct?
Mhm. Well, I was on
And
my
like
a
we
door.
call it a door. Yeah. And then she walked. Did they come out and bring you into the ship, or did you just walk into the ship?
Nope, they came out and met me at my porch, and they were taller than my porch, and I went through the porch railing with them into their energy ball, and then they held my hand, knock another
Okay.
hand, and we walked to the ship opening, but we were there like in the blink of an eye.
The blink of an eye. Okay.
Mhm.
So, now I live in a much more built up area. I mean, I live in New England, and my town, Wallingford, Connecticut, where I am here, where we would go. Well, anyway, we're not going to be here anyway because, well, we're the first event we're doing on the 13th of April will be live on TikTok. All our key coordinated people who are trained in C5 are very spiritual people. My friend Greg and Elaine are the most beautiful people you'll ever meet. They don't do TikTok or anything. They'll be there. Chesno's going to be there. I'm sure Grace will come up from southeastern Connecticut, who's doing another event, and a few other people. So it's going to be a small gathering.
Sorry.
We're not trying to have 100 people come to Connecticut. Um, so as we learn more about this, we want to document it so people can see what we're doing is real, and we are going to document it. And we don't not going to just tell a story and say, "Do you believe my story? Can you prove the story?" Everything I do in my life has to be accurate. Everything has to be honest. Everything has to be true. And we're not going to give you la la stories like you see on Facebook. Tons of people saying, every year this is going to be this and that's going to be that. So yeah, this is going to be a new experience for me for sure. April's experiencing it now. I have not experienced it, so for me, I'm very humble, and to meet these space people that we are connected with is going to be a very very emotional experience for me. I don't know how emotional it'll be because I'm not there yet, but when I'm there, um, I'm going to tell my daughter I'm going on a spaceship, and does she want to come to the C5? I'm going to let her know when it happens. I want her to be there. For that particular, that's not. We're not going on a spaceship this time. I understand it, but when we do the next event that we are, I want to make sure my biological family is there with me because, you know, I think it's important that if they are there, I want them to know whether they want to go on a spaceship and meet our star family. So those are things I still have to work out in my head. I'm being very honest with my family to let them know what's happening, so
Yeah.
they know what's going on
Your
here.
your regular family, um, the your direct contact will just be for you, because you are the one that has work to do, and I'm the one that has work to do. Like my family
Okay,
isn't coming with
okay,
me to take care of
okay.
the stuff, but we won't. Commander, remember that time is not the same. Like yesterday, I was gone for 5 hours, at least 5 hours.
5 hours. Okay.
I was gone for 5 hours on with them on their ship. Yes, last night at three
Oh
o'clock
my
I left.
God.
I was back here. I was back here within like half an hour. They didn't even know I was gone. Nobody knew
You
I
were
was gone.
gone for 5 hours off planet Earth time, only a half hour, but 5 hours off planet. Oh my God.
Time is
That's
definitely
amazing.
not the same. I was gone
It's
for
not the
five
same.
hours and no one knew I was gone. So, um, but what I did ask is because I got so startled when they first showed up, but then again, somebody was at my door, at an ungodly hour, and I live in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
When I asked about you, because you had asked that question before about, when they come get me, how are they going to come get me? Am I going to be beamed up? I asked those questions for you, and I asked if I could be there when we got you. I wasn't sure like how things were going to go down, but what I did ask is if when your first contact would happen, if I could please be there to be with them, so you didn't get startled. I know you won't be startled, but it is kind of overwhelming unless you have, like, I wish that you were there to be like, it's okay, April. It's just me. Come on, these are the good guys. Let's go.
Right. Right.
It's overwhelming. It really, truly is. It wasn't scary, but it was very overwhelming. And I wish I had
Yeah.
somebody like standing there that I knew. That I like. I mean, I knew them, but I didn't know them yet.
Yeah.
So I asked if
Yeah.
I could be there when we got you, and they seemed to be okay with it. They didn't give me a straight answer, but I think
Okay.
the answer was yes.
Yeah. I know this is going to be a very strange, for me, a strange situation because I've been so adapted to this planet by everything around me. We all have, and a lot of you who are watching this, many of you are starting to have contacts of your own, and some of you
Hmm.
are mentioning it in the comments here. You've had contacts, so we know that there are others here that have personal stories of their own contacts, either through a cosmic state of consciousness, through dreaming, or from a physical encounter. I mean, there are people that have been on here that had encounters with star people that were on my show when I first came on here on TikTok. So we know you're out there, and we know that your experiences are real. And for me, it's always been about doing something here that's going to bring people together, to bring people out of the closet, to tell the truth about what's going on out here.
Hmm.
We can talk about ancient ET cultures and billions of years of Earth history that we don't even know about galactically of what
That's
existed here.
history, Commander. That stuff is all history. That isn't what's happening now, what's going to be
Yeah, it's all
happening in our
history. I
future.
know, all different now.
Throw it all
And
out. Don't matter
my
now.
and this Igmu says, how do we attract these beings? You need to meditate, Igmu, whatever your real name is. You need to learn to meditate in Christ consciousness, learn how to be a Christed being of light, learn how to let go of all your belief systems that you've been taught on earth. That's one of the first thing you got to do is whatever you believe. I don't care what your religion is, your politics are, your economics are. I don't care what your philosophy is. I don't care if you're a scientist. I don't care what you are. You have to let go of all the things you've been taught on earth before you can do this. When you let go of all the things you've been taught on earth, then you need to learn how to do meditation, center, get in touch with your higher self, and learn to meditate in a Christed state of consciousness. And when you learn to do the meditation in Christed state of consciousness, that is the key to your cosmic connection to your star family. You know, and once you are able to facilitate that, you'll be able to make that connection. You all have a connection, you know. So what we're talking about, what's going to happen with April and myself when this happens, going on the ship. She's already been there, and obviously they are making sure that I'm going on this ship to bring back information. It's not a joyride. It's not like, okay, Commander went on a ship, I want to go on one too. It's not. That's not what it's about. This is very serious. What they're doing is part of it is I'm going to see my biological star family that I've never seen, that I can't remember what, you know, anything other than what April tells me. But secondly, I'm going on the ship to bring back information to help the planet Earth. And that to me is a big responsibility. That's a responsibility. You know, I thought this is a big enough responsibility just doing this, doing the media. Yeah, it's going to be physical. Yes, we're going to be physically taken on a spaceship. So we're not going to dream about it. We're not
We've
going
got
to.
a journey to make.
We
Me and
have
my
a journey
commander
to
have a
make.
journey to make, along with these other star seeds, and this is to help the whole world. This isn't just about us.
Right. And so that's why tonight we're just continuing on a little bit more from last night. And Sunday night we'll take your stories. If you have stories to tell, hold on to your stories. You have to have 200 followers to go on live on audio. We'll be happy to have stories tomorrow night. And then we'll be on at 11 tomorrow night. And then if you have 1,000 followers, you can do audio and video. So hold on to your stories. I do see the comments. I have a story to tell. We are on usually at 11. I'm running a little bit late tonight, but that's all right. And it's Friday. It's Saturday night. I don't know what day it is anymore, but does it really matter?
Me
But
neither.
you know, but just to understand that what we're doing is going to help everybody in the planet. You know, and as because I use media, I'm sure they're going to want me to when I go on the ship. They're going to tell me to utilize, of course, the show, my radio show, to do outreach because that's my background. Now, if there's other things they're going to teach me to do other than the media stuff I do, or what I'm going to bring back to here to tell you, I will share whatever it is I'm supposed to share to assist people here. Um, and the thing is, you're not going to find this on Facebook. Not going to see this on YouTube channels. You're not going to see this on Facebook channels. You're going to see it here. Information that I get here from there, I will share on my Facebook groups, my Ashtar group, my ground crew groups on Facebook need to know. I know that's going to be important. My Facebook group and this here, my YouTube channel, all the shows will be transferred over there so people can rewatch the shows and whatever else they teach me to do. If they activate some stuff within my whole cellular structure that's not activated, that can do stuff. If it means doing healing work, if that's part of if they're going to amp up my healing ability to help people, I'm more than happy to humbly do that. I don't know what's going to happen. I do know that I'm going to try different foods on the ship that they have from their own worlds.
Yes.
The food thing, I'm very interested in that as I'm there. So what could be 4 or 5 hours in non-time, in non-Earth time, could be a half hour in Earth time. So I might be away for a half hour in Earth time, and no one will think they missed me. Like me going to a store for going to the market, but it'll be 5 hours off planet. If you can understand that. Do they have soda? Zoom is saying. Do they have like a soda type drink?
They don't need soda type drinks, man.
They
I'm
don't drink
telling you,
soda.
those tahars Flowers, man,
Tahars.
it was like drinking the best juice you ever drank. It was
Tahar
so
flowers. Tahar
tahar,
flowers.
tahar,
Tapar? Tahar.
tahar. Yeah,
Tahar is a flower that you drink. They don't have any soda. They don't drink anything like soda or things like that on Earth that are made by Coca Cola or anything like that.
no.
Tahar, it's a natural flower they drink.
Now fairies like junk food, but these space beings are all about being natural and good to their bodies and healing and I mean
Yeah,
they have normal lives like us, like they have jobs to do and stuff like that on their ships. They're a lot like us. They have families they raise, they go to school, they learn things, and and
yeah,
they're all very busy. The only thing is they're not being forced to do this stuff. They do this stuff for
right.
each other. It's a
And this
huge
and
difference.
just let this person know. Abraham Lincoln says yes, they do have soda. Maybe Abraham Lincoln, if you're referring to they do have soda, and maybe you had a contact with a certain group of non-terrestrials that drink something like that. But the Ashtar Command galactic groupings of people on this ship, where they come from, they don't drink soda. They have no soda. There's no soda. So if you can qualify why you're saying they do, they is a very general term. Be more specific. Maybe if you had an encounter with specific non-terrestrial intelligences that do drink soda, possibly, but not with the Ashtar Command grouping here. They don't drink any soda whatsoever.
Yeah, that was one thing that I asked. I go, "Do you guys have like junk food or anything like that?" Because I was just curious, because I was interested in the food that we were eating, and because they shared a meal with me when I was there,
Yeah,
and they said they don't have a need for stuff like that. It's they are all about taking care of themselves. They're living
yeah,
long lives. That's why they live as long as they do,
yeah,
because they eat healthy and take care of themselves mentally and physically.
yeah. Abraham was saying, he says, "No, I've been on a Corinthian and Venusian ship. Were you taken on physically, Abraham?" I'm going to ask you a question. Did they physically take you on their ship? Please explain. I find that interesting, and it's possible that this other group, the Venusians and these
It may be a
Corinthians,
possibility. I mean,
it could be, we're not putting it out of the realm, but this particular grouping of galactic humans do not, they don't drink any soda.
they don't
But that
partake.
doesn't mean there's others that don't. They probably do, maybe, you know. But it's interesting. Just if they're able to do it. Whoops, what am I doing here? So it's just really important to, as we're learning more here about what this means, it's not like a joyride. What I'm learning here, my conscious learns very quickly. What April's sharing with me, I'm taking in every little piece of every little word that she says from what they told her. I'm taking everything in my consciousness right now to get myself prepared for going on this ship.
Hmm.
And I know that it's going to be it's going to be a big difference. It's going to also I think my family will, under my biological family, my daughter, and hopefully her boyfriend, and they'll understand, when I come back, that I'll have information to share. It's going to be as I'm talking to you all, I'm thinking this as I'm speaking. I'm thinking about how it's going to feel. So yeah,
Now I want to also say too, guys, don't be discouraged and think, oh, it's just going to be me and the
it
commander and this
yeah.
handful
Don't
of
be
people that are
discouraged.
going to be going through all this special stuff. No,
Yeah,
when things change, we will all have an opportunity, and this is what they told me, that
yeah,
we will all have an opportunity because these beings are going to be here now. There's going to be some here on Earth. There's going to be some that go back home, but
yeah,
we're going to have a lot of they're going to share their technology once the shift is changed, and all these idiots aren't in power anymore and
Yeah.
enslaving and doing what they're doing to us, there's going to be a huge shift, and we won't have a need for like a lot of the stupid stuff that's going on now. We won't have a need
Yeah.
for any of that, and we will have the capability to be able to go on ships and do traveling and all that stuff. Everybody will, not just a handful of us, but
Right.
right now it's just to
It's not.
prepare for the main contact.
It's That's right. It's not like the chosen few, and that's it. They're
No.
we're going on to be the facilitators, but there's going to be a much when the mass contact happens, which we've talked about I talked about 2027 before even Bashar with Daralenka spoke about this in 2022 at the end of I felt like there was going to be contact eventually happening next few years. Now, um, I'm going to Lynn RN. She's a nurse. I'm going to bring Lynn on. I think for some reason I'm supposed to bring her on. I think she has a question. And again, I want to, before I bring anybody on, I just want to just give the protocol of the show. No smoking, no vaping, no drinking, no drunk people. That's number one. No people under 18. No kids on the camera. No naked people on the camera. Let's see, what else is there? No foul language whatsoever. Am I leaving out anything? I keep thinking I'm leaving out something. Does that cover all the groundwork, April? April? Oh, April's silent at the moment. Oh, where I have the camera. I'm going to bring this person on here. I'm going to bring on. I think April stepped away from her microphone for a minute. Okay. Oh, I guess they didn't want to be. Wow, I lost April. What's going on here? Oh, okay. Interesting. You're watching. You're watching Encounters. Oh, okay. All right. You had to step away from me. Okay, I got you. April will be back. Lynn. Yeah, there's no there's no hate or racism. There's no everything the way people. There's no diseases. There's nothing. There's no the aging process off planet is way different. I keep losing you. Also, I fell asleep. That's okay, Stella Bella. I hope you had a good sleep. People can fall asleep on my show. Let's see, RN. Where is that RN person? Oh, they disappeared. I was going to bring that RN person on, but they disappeared. How different? Well, everything's different compared to Earth. There's no all the things that the diseases, all the things that exist, wars and all that on Earth that have existed. There's none of that on these other planets. There's no wars, no harm. Everyone lives in a communal way and understanding with each other. It's just a beautiful experience. But in the Ashtar Command experience, you'll find that there's nothing of negativity. There's no ghettos. There's no rich versus poor. It does, that doesn't exist from the worlds where our space brothers and sisters come from. It's not like that whatsoever. It just isn't. And if it is like that, then it's on a lower vibrational timeline. Will they be Will they be for or against intermarriage between us and them? No, they won't be against intermarriage. A matter of fact, historically, and some of the contactees from the 60s, some of them were married to others from other planetary systems, humans with other from other planets. So intermarriage between someone from planet Zakor and planet Earth will be something that you probably would see. The interdimensional, yes, and also multidimensional. Let's see. Hey, Commander, and everyone. Hey, my twisted mystic. Clifford says, Commander, the RN accidentally hit the button. She didn't want to come on. All right. Well, maybe her inner spirit wanted to come on. Cliff. No problem. Venusians are on a so there's many different beings. Venusians are one grouping of beings, but there are many galactic beings within the multiverse, within the universe. When I came to Earth, before coming to Earth, all the beings that I worked with within the command come from very high frequencies of Christ consciousness, and it's very, very different. So there are different levels of consciousness, including multiple Earth realities, including multiple Venusian realities, like Venus. There are multiple Venusian realities that are different frequencies. There are fourth dimensional Venusians, fifth dimensional, and onward. So as you go up different vibrational patterns, the planetary systems will be living and breathing and operating differently than they do in the lower vibrational frequencies. Yeah. Yes, so I'm not from Earth. That's correct. I'm from Mars originally. I'm from the Ashtar Galactic Command. Mars has 10 to 15 million inhabitants on the current Mars that we call the one that we see with our telescopes. A very spiritual, advanced planet, and the people on Mars are vegetarian. They don't really eat any kind of what you call meat, but they are very Christed in their beingness. I also come from the Ashtar Command before I came to Earth, so I worked with the Christ consciousness levels before I came here. I've been working as I became older. I understood what Christ consciousness was. As a kid, I didn't even understand Christ consciousness. I was just a kid with not a memory of everything from our planet. But yes, Katie, good night. Take care. Much peace and love to you. Good to have you with us. Do they work satellites? That I am not sure of. I don't know. They might have satellite systems. Yes, in meditation. Alicia's correct about that. Through Christ in meditation. When I go on the ship in the next 2 to 3 months, I believe I'll be taken on the ship. I will ask questions about satellites. If you have questions, I'm just be enough for me to be off planet for whatever hours I'm going to be off planet, and then physically come back with what I need to share here with people on here. And I think Stephen Greer would be kind of like interested in what we're doing, and I'm not sure he's going to be tuned into what we're doing, but. Joe says, "What do you mean? How do you get in? How do you get where? How can I join?" It's not like a club or anything. It's not something you join. The Ashtar Galactic Command is a grouping of Christed beings from many different planetary spiritual worlds. So you're not joining a group or paying for becoming a member for a year. These are the positive forces of light that exist beyond Earth. Okay. So it's not. So you don't get on a ship. What you have to do is do the spiritual work. What you have to do is learn how to meditate, how to connect in what I call Christ consciousness, Joe. When you learn how to do that, when you go within yourself, when you let go of all the belief systems that you have that you've been taught as a kid to your adult life, when you let go of all that stuff, Joe, that's the first step. You have to let go of everything you believe in. And then the second step is you have to give yourself a space to meditate, connect with yourself, and ask that the Christ in consciousness develops your whole physical being. Once that Christ consciousness, cosmic Christ consciousness, envelops your whole consciousness, then you're going to be able to learn how to connect with your star family. A star family is the family beyond Earth, to define it for you. Everybody has a star family, even those that are just beginning to ask me questions. You'll eventually learn you have a star family. Do they fall in love? Of course they do, Deborah. My father is on a spaceship. My mother is also on a spaceship, on another ship. I have evidently sisters and brothers that I haven't seen since I came to Earth. Yes, they have families, they have love, they live together, they have homes. Yes, most definitely they fall in love. Amazing Finds Boutique. I've been going in their ship since I was 9. They contacted me. Tomorrow night we're going to do interviews with people, and so people, if you have a 200 followers or what have you, you'll be able to go on live audio. 1,000 plus, you can go on live and tell us your stories tomorrow night. Live, we're going to go back to doing some more stories, but these between last night and tonight, it was important to continue a discussion about what's happening. and how things are changing so quickly. I want to connect again so badly. So, Deborah, just take the time to relax and to do inner guided meditations for yourself. You can use the word you or om and allow yourself to do that. And as you do those things, you will eventually be able to reconnect with them and make that contact happen. Let's see here. You'll be able to, whoops, well, I'm going to have to do this again. Wait a minute. My TikTok thing here gets kind of weirded out. Okay,
I'm here.
I'm gonna bring you back. Hold on a second. Let me just do this again. Let's make sure it works. Yeah, it's funny with TikTok. You press the invite button. Sometimes it brings the person on and it doesn't show the screen. So I think TikTok has a problem. But I got you here. You're back.
Okay, sorry about that. My granddaughter woke up. I had to get her settled.
Oh, that's okay. You got to do earth-based things like that. Being the
Oh
loving
yeah.
person that you are. And so I was just telling this person, Joe. He says, "I want to go on a ship." I said, I knew just by the question. He's fairly new to this. That it's not about for people that say, "Oh, I want to do what you guys are going to do." It's not like like we're having a fun thing here going on a ship and we're just going to do it and come back. Yeah, there's a whole story behind what we're talking about. And my show is being recorded, so you'll see it on my YouTube channel, Ashtar Command Spaceship News, tomorrow morning. And we'll be talking about that. I was going to say, April, I don't know what you're doing tomorrow morning, but you're welcome to come on my show if you wish to go on the air.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, for those of you who are just coming on the show, me and the commander, I've had recent physical contact, and just now finding out there's been three separate contacts where I've actually been physically brought into a ship, and we ended up finding out that me and the commander have a job to do for everybody, and these ETs have contacted us, which are our space families, and because me and the commander are not from originally from Earth, we're now in these human bodies, but we
Right.
were from off planet, and mine and the commander's family, we're now finding out we're good friends and work together off planet, and have recently reached out and contacted me, and then we'll also be contacting the commander. So this is what we are talking about right now.
Yeah, that's it. And that's giving you a brief synopsis. I know there's a lot of new people in here coming in here tonight, and so there's a big story here that is happening. I'm sure the word will eventually get around once for the general public. There's certain things that April and I will be sharing privately about what's coming up for the direct contact, being on the ship, going on the ship. For me, I've not been on the ship yet, but they are planning to have me taken on the ship through invitation, and then I'm going to come back with information for everybody here on the planet. And I don't know what that is yet, to be honest with you. But I'll give you my background for those that are new here. I started having my first visual contact when I was a kid in the 60s. It was a spaceship, it was a saucer type ship with men, women, and children that were wearing light blue space outfits. Very beautiful energy, beautiful people. And I was just getting over dinner. My brother, who was 8 years older than me, he was downstairs with my mother and father. And my grandmother was living with us, I think, at the time still. And for some reason, I went upstairs to the second floor, the balcony, a carpeted floor. I skipped my room, which was smaller than my brother's, went into my brother's room. For some strange reason, I opened up the wooden blinds, and there was a spaceship with look like a fog around it, like it was like a fog kind of. And then I saw all the space people in the ship. It was like a glass, like a tinted glass around this beautiful ship. And they kept looking at me, and I just They said, "You're not from planet Earth. We're your galactic family. We love you." And then I went back downstairs, so excited that my biological family, I wanted them to come upstairs to look at the spaceship. But nobody came upstairs. So I went upstairs, nobody came upstairs. So I started banging on the carpet. I was frustrated because now no one came upstairs to share my excitement. I felt, I'm a kid. I'm frustrated. So I go back to the window, open it up, and the ship is still there. And I just felt this immense sense of love. And then I felt at peace and then closed the shades. And the ship could have still been there. But then that was my first experience. I never forgot it, ever. Ever did I ever forget it. So for new people, my journey as I got older, I always had sightings of what people call UFOs or whatever growing up. Then I had my biggest sightings in the 80s of a huge ship that was 2 football fields in length, of over 1,000 feet above a condo complex. And it was spinning towards the woods. And I watched it for 35 minutes straight, and then it shot out 2 little balls of light that did geometry. I still don't understand what the geometry meant. I wish I could have recorded it. They didn't have cell phones. They didn't have internet. They didn't have the TikTok. They didn't have anything. I didn't go to the market across the way to try to get a camera. I didn't think about that. I was just like watching it for 35 minutes. So just briefly, I've been involved in this work spiritually for a lot of years now, and I've always had things happen on a visual perception level, but I've never been aboard a ship, at least that I can remember. So this has been amped up. I guess they've been kind of, hooking up with April. They also know of me because my father, my space father and mother are on 2 different ships, and I have brothers and sisters that are not from Earth biologically that are on these spaceships. So I'm telling my story. I'm learning it from April. I didn't know this because she went on the ship. And so, yeah, it's just very, very interesting as I tell the story. As I'm learning the story, I'm being more activated every time I get some information. I'm going to learn more stuff in the next 24 to 48 hours from April that I don't even know. I think, thank you for the roses, that, we need to understand for new people that you're all going to eventually have mass contact. We've talked about it on this show. Between now and 2027 is the height of what we call major contact on Earth. We'll be here to help people. We'll be here to help people understand what's happening as we go through these months and the next few years. Uh, as long as we're still on the planet, we're going to help you as much as we can. Okay. April, I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, so what's going to happen is like the commander said, him and I have work to do, again, for the new people that are coming in. And they made the first contact with me, and I don't know if it has to do with the fact that my whole family was together on the ship, or if it had to do with where I live at. And it was easier for them to contact me first because I live up in a mountainous area, and it was more of a because these first contacts, like with me, the commander, and a handful of other starseeds across the world, are meant to do a job when this mass contact does happen. So I think the reason why I was contacted first was because of, I think it's because of where I live at. It was easier for them to
Yeah,
come here
absolutely.
because the commander's more in a city base, and I live up in the
Yeah.
mountains.
Yeah, I don't
So
think it'd be good to have the ship land in Wallingford, Connecticut. I think they'd
no,
be
and have you pull through your wall or something, have your wall melt away.
right. That's right.
Probably freak
But go
out your
ahead.
family just a little bit. The space kitty
I'll be
meow.
right back. You keep talking, April. I'll be right back. Oh
Okay,
man.
so the commander, so I was contacted first, and there's been a total of 3 contacts now, but the first contact, or actually 4 contacts now. Sorry, 4. The first contact I was startled, and I didn't even talk to the space being because, like I said, I live in a mountain area, and I don't expect to see like people. There isn't a lot of public up where I live, and I was letting my dogs out and to go to the bathroom, and it was really late at night, and I have an old dog that has a very small bladder, and he had to go, so I had to let him out. And I opened up my door, and there was a space being standing there. It startled me. My dogs all ran past him, weren't bothered by him a bit, and took off and went to go do their business. But I slammed the door because I got scared. And then when I realized what it was that I had been looking at, I reopened the door and I was like, "Wait, come back!" But it wasn't. They were gone at that point. And then a few nights later, he came back. The space being came back, and I was physically taken onto the ship the first time for a short period of time, the second time for a couple of hours, and then again last night the contact happened again. The ship landed in my woods, and you couldn't see the ship, just a door opening, space beings come out, and then they took me aboard their ship that was camouflaged in my woods. Like, you couldn't see the ship, but you could see the door opening. And this time I was gone for 5 hours. I wasn't asleep. I wasn't sleepwalking. It wasn't a dream. It actually physically happened. I was actually outside. The commander's show had run a little late last night, and I was trying to figure out phone because I've had ships that have been landing in my mountains, and I was trying to figure out the phone situation so I could zoom in to show the audience in tonight's show the ships out there. But then a contact happened last night when I was doing this. The door opened up to the ship again, and they came back out. But this time the ship was in a slightly different area. And I also, along with capturing a small snippet of the door opening before because I had two phones on me, I also got orbs that had come out of the ship with them. I got a small video of the door opening, and I got snapshots with my other phone of the orbs, and I was actually got the beings as well. I was able to capture pictures of them coming out of the ship. That's all posted on my page for those of you who think that, I was asleep or I dreamed this. It actually
It,
physically
it,
happened, and I got
and
video
it,
proof.
and it's all documented. I've reposted her videos, and everyone should look at her videos. It's the real deal. There's no CGI. Everything that we're telling you here is actually happening now.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So that was what happened last night. I was brought aboard their ship for about 5 hours and talked to about more about mine and the commander's mission, and how me and the commander were brought together. And for those of you who don't know, I actually got to see pictures of the commander and what he actually looks like as his space being self, and it was
yeah.
pretty
I thought
cool.
that was it. And for new people, if you haven't heard the story, I'm sure there's a lot of new people in here. I look a lot different than I do here. I
Yeah.
used to tell the story that I had long hair and a beard, and I probably, in some level, depending on what I decided to do, she'll tell you a little bit what I look like as the person when I'm on the ship, the person before I came to Earth, what my physical being looked like. If
Okay,
you want to share
so
that, go ahead.
sure. So they have these things, and they're called I asked if they had pictures, and they kind of looked at me weird, and they have these things called memory crystals, and they placed it into it almost looked like a glass computer, but it was made out of crystal, and they stuck
Crystal,
this,
yeah.
yeah, and so they stuck this crystal piece inside of this like
Uh,
glass computer thing, and it pulled up an image, and not just an image. It was like a whole 3D, like it looked like he was like a miniature him standing there, and it showed him, and he did have brown hair, but he had a beard, and he was tall and thin and muscular. He looked like a Viking, is what he looked like. And he also, in one of the images of him that they showed me, in his beard he had braided crystals into his beard. So his beard was like decorated with these like really cool like twists and crystals in him. It was actually very awesome. He looked like a Viking, like buff, tall Viking with crystals in his beard, and very good looking, very nice skin, and blue eyes. Commander, you had blue eyes,
Blue
and
eyes. Okay.
you looked really, you looked good. You were very handsome. Your and
And
his
can you
father, his
some people asking why does your page, if they want to look at the videos and the documented stuff you videotaped, yeah,
it's my page is friends with fairies.
Friends
One
with
one one
Fairies.
one. Yep, it's right. It's
Yeah,
right underneath my
that's
picture.
right. Just look at Friends with Furries 1111. Just go to that page after the show, and you can see all the documented video footage. She's documenting every single thing. Going on the ship, the door opening to this big spaceship. It's just an amazing thing. Just click on her name and copy it, and you can go to her page to see all the documented stuff. And the activity has increased tenfold, meaning
Mm-hmm.
they're serious. Our space brothers of the command are very serious about this with April and me. They're extremely serious because there's things that need to be done,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why they're amping up. They're where she is. They're not just there for a joyride.
No.
They're there because there's a mission to be completed.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot that's going to be happening on this planet in the next few years. Billions of people on this planet have no idea what's going to happen yet. I mean, the whole planet really doesn't know. If you figure how
No.
many people we have on this planet right now in all different countries, different cultures, different religions, different places, whatever. There's so many Earth people on here that have no idea yet what's going to happen. So what we're doing on this show, Encounters, is what we're going to always do is interview people with their experiences, disclosure, the UFO sightings. But now our mission is tenfold stronger, meaning, or no, the mission is even a little bit different than just doing this. It's going to be getting people prepared for contact. I think that's really we have to really educate people now. We're going to have to really educate people about what's coming between now and 2027. There's going to be direct contact, and it's going to affect the whole planet. And if people are not willing to let go of what they believe in to understand this, you're going to be a little bit stuck when it happens, because it's going to happen whether you're stuck or not. It's still going to happen. You can't stop it. You can't prevent it. It's supposed to happen. It's going to happen whether you believe it or not. It doesn't matter to me. I just know that we're here to do something to help the planet, you know? And why would they hurt? Well, when you say they, Rain, they're not hurting anybody.
Oh
So if
no,
any,
no. They're
they're,
helping
they're,
us. They're coming
they're
to
helping
help.
us. They're coming to help. So if you had a negative experience with a level of extraterrestrial intelligence and hasn't been from the Christed beings, that would be a low vibrational three-dimensional being. But if you're asking a general question without any experience, they're not here to hurt us. These are our space brothers and sisters. These are Christed beings of light. They're here to assist us and help us. They're here with complete unconditional love for every single human being on our planet. The kid, let's see here. I hope that answers your question. Oh yeah, Connie, they have med beds. April can talk about that. She's seen the med beds on the spaceship. Okay, if you had a negative experience, Rain, you're probably dealing with a low vibrational being or ET. So your experiences today is very general. So very specifically, I just want to be very clear. There are different levels and vibrational frequencies of ETs. So I'm sorry you had those experiences, but that would be coming from a lower vibrational ET level, not from what we're talking about. We're talking about Ashtar Command. We're talking about angelic beings. We're talking about higher vibrational men and women from planetary worlds of peace and love and understanding. So in your experience, I do understand what you're saying, but to be more specific, I don't know who they were, but I know they're not coming from a very high level frequency of love at all, so to speak. Sonic, hey, good to see Sonic. I'm sure he might have.
Can I comment real quick too?
Yeah, I'll go right ahead, April. Just
So,
by all
so
means.
So if you had an experience with a negative ET, that definitely was not our star brothers and sisters, and so I'm sorry if anything negative happened to you. That's not good,
Yeah, yeah,
but these beings are coming to help our Earth, help us, and help our planet. They are not here to hurt us, and as a matter of fact, they are also coming to evict these negative beings that if you had an experience with one of them, they're coming to evict them out, and anybody that has brought or has anything to do with these negative beings. I'm not talking about humans. I mean people that have brought these beings here to do any harm. Because they won't be allowed here anymore. They are slowly but surely kicking them out for sure right now. The
right.
any ones that are still here hidden, they're not going to be for long.
Another thing, Rain, is you said I've been kind ones too. So you need to do some work on yourself, Rain. Obviously you don't know how to separate or block the negative experiences from the positive ones. So you need to do is learn how to meditate in Christ consciousness. And Rain, if you do that and you focus on Christ consciousness, when we talk about Jesus Christ from a non-religious standpoint, you say, I align with the forces of the Christ consciousness, of cosmic Christ consciousness. And you have to say to yourself, I do not allow whoever these other ETs were that were negative to come into my existence anymore. You set the parameters. You have to set the blockage up. You have to set the bubble of protection up. When you do that, you'll prevent those negative ETs from interacting with you. So you can also, the ones that are kind, you can have the kind ones help you. So if you ever meet these kind ones, and the thing you have to ask is, are they Christed beings of light? If they are Christed beings of light, then they are kind to you. You need to ask them for assistance to prevent the negative ones from coming back in contact with you. In some cases, people have both contacts, but you want to get rid of the negative contact by having the positive um, influence in your life. So if there's most important thing is learning how to do Christed meditations, and just focusing on Christ consciousness 24/7. That'll prevent the negative experiences from happening. You know, no, they don't believe in the Bible. So let me explain something about that. On Earth, you have all these religions, all these belief systems, all these things that are created by man. None of those things exist on the Christed planetary systems beyond Earth, within the Ashtar Galactic realms. None of that exists. The space people I'm meeting, they don't have a Bible. They don't read they're not focused on a book that man writes. Their connection to source is God. God is universal to all space people and the galactic levels of light. There's no Qurans, there's no Bibles, there's no Hebrew books, there's none of this. There's no political parties. There's no oh, I just lost her again. There's none of those things. Oh, okay. Take care, April. We'll see you. Call me. I'm going to give you my number. I'll message you tomorrow morning about the phone number for the show. But there's none of that, So all the things you've been indoctrinated to on Earth, none of that exists off planet. It does not exist. So now there's going to be a learning curve. When we come back, before we even get there, I already know that one of my teachings here is that people need to get rid of all their belief systems that they've been taught. Those things are going to hold you down. If you have certain belief systems, if you support political parties, certain people, and think that they're the way and they're going to save the earth, don't do that. Get rid of all that garbage. Clear your consciousness out and throw that stuff in the recycle bin, and allow yourself to think in a very open consciousness of cosmic Christed consciousness. And when you do that, you'll be able to then get connected to source, and then remember to connect with the highest levels of light. So it's getting late. It's like 1:36 in the morning. We're going to be on the radio tomorrow morning. Everybody here. I do have a radio show for 21 years called Cosmic Eye Ashtar Command Radio. Everybody tune in. If you have any questions, you can call up my radio show and go on the air. And I'll give the phone number tomorrow morning. I'll be broadcasting it live on TikTok. And that's the Cosmic Eye Ashtar Command Radio. Um, so definitely, I appreciate some gifts for the work we're doing here. If you've gotten information, please join us. I'll bring Chesno up here for a minute if he's still here. We'll bring Chesno up as we wind down. If he can come up, he might be sleeping or getting ready to sleep. I don't know. But in any case, please show me some gifting here. We're going to put the galaxies up. Hey, Chesno is here, I think. Hey, brother, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
It's been a crazy night.
Yeah.
In a good way. So many questions about this. And so it looks like on the 13th at the Orchard, we're not going to go on a ship, but I think a month or two later, I get the feeling I'll have more information about going on the ship. Thank you, Kid Kat. I appreciate that. And I know that evidently we're going to have a pretty interesting C5 coming up at the Apple Orchard next town over on the 13th.
Yeah, that sounds exciting. I'm stoked. I'll be there.
Yeah. We'll have our Chesno's one of our C5 people at our Ashtar Command contact group, and people are invited if people want to know about the C5. We're not going to have a large group. We're going to have they don't want us to have a large group evidently, so we're going to be honoring of that. When we do the next thing, which is a contact, which they're going to take us on the ship, I'll have more information. Oh, Chesno, you're getting a note from Friends with Furry before she goes. You owe me lunch, Chesno.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that'll happen. And, and Friends with Furries, I know she's trying to raise money to not only get down here and have a place to stay, but in our group, we have people that have houses and homes, and I'm sure you don't have to spend any extra money. I'm sure someone will put you up in our group. So I want you to save your money. We'll have one of our people in our group put you up, I'm sure. So, I appreciate everybody here and the gifting. So we're gonna, wind it down. Anything you would like to share, Chesno, about your thoughts of what's been happening in the last 24 hours, all this information?
No, I think April's videos are amazing. Like
Yeah,
I've never
yeah.
seen like that many videos like in one particular spot. It's definitely a hot spot, and especially that video with the beam that came down. I thought that was
Oh,
interesting.
yeah. Oh, the beam video, yeah.
Yeah,
And
do you
then in the
remember
beam
that?
video, the beam and then the space being that you recorded in the beam also. And
Yeah.
the whole thing was
I wonder what was
interesting.
going on there. That was really cool.
Yeah. So people that don't know about Friends with Furries, it's Friends with Furries 1111 is her page. Everybody here, 172 of you, check her documented videos out tonight or tomorrow, whenever. It's Friends with Fairies 1111. Just write that down. Friends with Fairies 1111. You're gonna be blown away by the footage of every single documented video she has in Vermont of the spaceship, of what's going on, the door opening into the spaceship, the space beings in the spacesuits that you'll see, the radiance of light coming out of their suits. And just to let people know, the space people are like us. They are taller than us. They are human like us. They don't look like, three-eyed monsters like in Hollywood movies. These are very beautiful men and women from on the spaceship. Day as a line, greetings. So we're going to wind it down. I'm going to get some shut eye, and I think I'm going to need some sleep. And Chesno, I want to thank you, brother, for all the work you do. I just honor you for everything you do.
Oh, my pleasure. Yeah, thank you for having me. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, and we're going to call it a night, everybody. If you'll have any, before we do go off, I do want to get some last minute gifts. So we're going to have a little bit of a fun gifting war for the commander. So those are on here. We have 179 people times how many people have TikTok coins. If you have TikTok coins, you know what they are, and you have like a vault full of them. Say, oh, I've been holding on to 10,000 TikTok coins. Maybe I should give the commander some gifts. I'll leave that up to people. So we're going to have a gifting war in a very fun way here. I like to do this at the end of the show. I will go to, hey, thank you, Winnie, and everybody else. So let's see what's going to happen here. So starting at 3, 1, 2, 3, we're going to do gifting. We'll see who's got their buttons on their gifts. If you have TikTok gifts, there's a little thing where you have gifts. You can press the button. It'll load the gift up and it'll send it to me. I can't believe that 168 people, nobody has TikTok coins. You can also do Venmo on my bio. Just go to my Venmo app on my bio. You can send any funds that way to our thing, or you can subscribe to my TikTok for a month or 2 months or 3 months. And we have 29 of 100 subscribers. So please do that as well. I want to thank everybody for being here. It looks like we have no more gifting going on here. It looks like people are out of TikTok coins or whatever might happen. Who knows? But thank you so much for being here and gifting through the night. And we will see you all tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Eastern on WESUFM.org, NPR Pacific Radio, for the Cosmic Eye Ashtar Command Radio Show. Take care, everybody. Hey, Chesno, we'll catch you later, brother.
Yeah, good night. See you tomorrow.
All right, take care.